Okay, so tell me, do you have any idea about your syllabus of English, what you need to study, what not to study? Anything you already know? Anyone who wants to answer? You know that it is English class, right?
Ma'am, like recently I don't have not faced any exams,
Okay.
but like as far as I know, like we will have like MCQs
Mm-hmm.
related to like unseen passages.
Mm-hmm.
We would like have like synonyms like and idioms.
Antonyms. All right. See, so
Yeah,
firstly, we need to describe the structure because all of you are not aware of it. So, when we talk about English subject, so what all things are important for your examination that we need to know first, and accordingly, we need to plan our studies. All right. Accordingly, you also need to plan your studies. So, English for any competitive examination is divided into three parts. All right. First is reading, second is grammar, and third is vocabulary. So, in your examination, reading skills includes unseen passages, which we also call as comprehension. You all know what it is. There will be one passage and there will be certain question based on that passage. What we call as unseen passages or comprehension, whatever you are comfortable with. Next is close test. Do you know what close test is? Any of you? Please say yes or no.
No, ma'am.
Alright, so close test is basically there will be a passage and certain blanks in that passages. It is a kind of fill in the blanks. Suppose I'll just give you an example. Suppose you are saying that there is a boy dash such work full stop. Again, there is a sentence, there will be certain blanks on that sentence, and for each blank, there will be three to four options, and you need to fill that option and complete this passage. This is called as close test. All right. There will be a passage, certain blank on that passage, and we need to fill that blank. It is a kind of fill in the blanks only, but it will be in a form of passage. Is that clear? What is close test?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. And third part is sentence rearrangement. Sentence rearrangement, you must be knowing it. It is called as jumble sentences. Like three to four sentences will be given, and you need to rearrange it to make it a meaningful paragraph. That is it. Alright. This is what we call as sentence rearrangement. So these three things comes under reading skills. Now, what you need to do for to improve your reading skills, the best way to improve reading skill is to read newspaper. Newspaper will help you a lot in these things. Moreover, newspaper helps you to do your current affairs part. Moreover, newspaper helps you in writing section also. You all know that in your means part there will be writing section. Even in preliminary English section there is essay writing, pressy writing. So all these things will be like it will improve if you read newspaper regularly. You will be learning the way of writing, which is very important for your examination. All right. So for doing unseen passages or close test or sentence rearrangement, the most important thing is to read newspaper. Although I'll tell you the tricks and techniques to solve these things, but newspaper reading is the best way to learn these things in perfect manner. All right. Next is your grammar. So as far as we know about grammar, we know that in grammar we need to study noun, pronoun, adverb, adjectives, tenses, subject, verb, agreement. All these are the topics of grammar, but all these topics are not important from your examination perspective. So from your examination perspective, important topics are verb, tenses, preposition, adverb, direct indirect speech, which we also call as narration, and active and passive voice. These are the important topics from your examination perspective, and you need to read these things only. That will be enough. And one more topic, which is subject verb. All right. So in grammar, we need to cover these topics. And last is vocabulary. So in vocabulary, you need to study synonyms. You all know what synonyms is? Do you know
Yes,
the
ma'am.
meaning of all right? Next is antonyms. Next is one word substitution. And the last one is idioms and phrases. So this is basically your syllabus. Besides this, there is essay writing, pressy writing, which we will do in the end, and that is it. That is the main thing about your syllabus which we need to cover. Today we'll start with tenses. before starting, I want to tell you, before starting, few things I want to make very clear. Whenever I'm teaching, you need to be communicative. You need to answer my questions. You need to tell me whether you have understood or not understood, because I'm not able to see your face, so I will not be able to recognize that that you are understanding or not. So it is solely your responsibility to ask if there is any doubts. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so we'll start with tenses. Now tell me, how many of you know what tenses is?
It's the representation of time.
It's the representation of time. Very, very close. Tenses is actually time. In other language, we can call tense as time. Alright. If we talk about the perfect definition of tenses, we can call it as it is a form of verb which tells time of an action. Now, through this definition, there is a term called form of verb. Can anyone of you tell me what this form of verb is?
The nature of time.
Nature of time is form of verb. Alright. I'll tell you what form of verb is. Form of verb is V1, V2, V1 plus ing, verb S or es form. V1 is called as present form of verb. Alright. Can you tell me what V2 is? Can anyone tell me what V2 is?
Present continuous.
Past.
Very good. V2 is past form of verb. What is V3?
Past participle.
Very good. V3 is past participle. V1 plus ing is continuous, and verb S or es form is used in present form. Alright. Now I'll ask you certain, I'll tell you certain V1 and you need to answer V2 and V3 of that verb. Alright. Let's start with the easy one. What is V2 of go? V2 and V3 of go.
When gone.
V2 is when and V3 is gone. What is V2 and V3 of the verb eat?
Eight.
Eat is V2, alright. And what is V3?
Eat.
Eat.
It's also
Eaten.
I think.
Eaten.
Eaten. Eaten is the right answer.
Eaten.
Yeah. Eaten is the right answer. Now, what is V2 and V3 of the verb become?
Became and became.
Became is V2 form.
Mhm.
Sorry. And what is V3 of become?
Becoming.
Becomed.
Become. There is no such word.
Becoming. It's same and became. I think.
Became. This is V3 also?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
No, it is V1 is become, V2 is became, and V3 is
Become.
becoming. Yes, very good. Now, can you tell me the V2 and V3 of the verb drink?
Drank.
Drank, and V3 is
Drunk.
Drunk.
very good. All right. Now we'll just do one level up. What is V2 and V3 of the verb hang?
Hung.
Okay, hang is the V2 form.
Hanged.
Think twice.
It's hung only, I guess.
It's hung only. V3 form also is hung. So my question here is there any word called hanged?
Yes, there is. Hanged.
Yes, ma'am.
There is hanged also. Then why we are not using? All right. So there is hanged as well. Let me write it down so that I can make it more. Now tell me, V3 form of hanged is hung or hanged according to you all?
I
Waiting
think
for your
hanged is
answer.
V3.
Hanged is V3. No.
Yes.
V3 form of hang is hang, hung, and hung. Right? Now, again, you guys are right that there is word called hang. V2 and V3 form of hang will be hanged and hang. But there is difference between this hang and this hang. What is the difference? Hang, hung, and hung. This means to hang something. Like if you call it in Hindi, किसी भी चीज को आप लटका रहे हो, that is called as hang. So it is to hang something is called hang, hung, and hung. When we are talking about hang, it is hang till there. It is related to hang somebody. It is related to give hanging punishment to someone. Alright? So hang, hanged, and hang is used only when we are giving hanging punishment to someone. Alright? And in any other term, we will use hang, hung, and hung. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright? If you need to write it down, you can write it in this way. Hand is used to suspend somebody by the neck. Alright? And for any other thing, we use hand, hung, and hung. Okay, let's talk about another verb. Have you ever heard of verb where?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean?
To hold, kind of.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear. Sorry.
One is to tolerate and one is animal. It's a noun.
One is animal, that is animal, where is noun. Alright, I'm not talking about noun here. So let's stick to verb itself. And very good. One where is to tolerate. Alright. So the word bear, which means to tolerate, what will be V2 and V3 form? What will be V2 and V3 form of the verb bear, which means to tolerate?
Same ma'am, I guess, for two, between V3.
It will be bear. That's what you are saying.
Yes ma'am.
Bore, ma'am.
Who is it? Okay, who answered both?
Hello, ma'am. It's fine.
Okay, so you are absolutely right here. V2 form of bear is bore. Now, can you tell me the verb third form, past participle one?
Born, ma'am. B-O-R-N-E.
Very good. It's B-O-R-N. There is word called born. You must have heard of it. To give birth.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
So can you tell me what is V1 and V2 form of this word? Born.
Birth.
Birth is noun with.
V2 is born.
No.
It will stay born.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Ma'am, it will stay born.
It will stay born. You are saying that V1 is also born, V2 is also born, and V3 is also born. That's what you're trying to convey?
Yes, ma'am.
That's not right. Anyone else who wants to try?
V2 is born and V3 is born.
Okay, so you are saying, I have already mentioned V3. I'm talking about V1 and V2 here. V3 is born. I'm talking what can be V1 and V2 of born. So, this is called as confusing pair of verbs. So, V1 and V2 of born is bear and bore only. Do write it down. This is very important. Here, when bear means to tolerate, V2 form is bore and V3 form is bore, B-O-R-N-E. When bear means to give birth, then V2 form will be bore and V3 form will be B-O-R-N, bore. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, let's move forward. One or two difficult pair we will be doing, confusing pair. There is one word.
Excuse me,
called
ma'am.
fall. Yes?
I am so sorry, but I'm getting confused. Can you please elaborately explain what is B1, B2, B3 so that we can understand more?
Alright. No problem. See, what is your name?
My name is Chimil.
Alright. See, V1 form is present form of verb. Alright. So, we are talking about tenses here. We all know that tenses are of three types: present, past, and future. Right? Yes. So, whenever we will talk about present form of verb, whenever we will talk in the present tense, we will be using V1 form of tenses. So, that is why V1 is called as present form of verb. Alright. V2 we use in past tenses. So, we call V2 as past form of verb. Alright. V3 is known as past participle because we use it in different part of tenses in different forms. Alright. In different sentences. Mostly with has or have. I will elaborate it once I'll start with the tenses part. In this, I only want to explain that there are three forms of verb, which is V1, V2 and V3. V1 is known as present form of verb, which we use in present tenses. V2 is called as past form of verb, which we use in past tenses. V3 is called as past participle, which we use in perfect tenses. Right? When I will elaborate types of tenses, in that it will be more clear to you in the form of sentences. Alright?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one more question. So, while you are explaining, should we make notes that time, or will you give us the time and you will give us something to write down as well?
I will be providing you PPT of this, so you don't need to write anything. You just focus and understand the things in the classes, because we just have 1 hour classes, so we need to understand the things. And after that, I will be providing you the PowerPoint presentation, so you can revise it at home. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Alright, fine. So, can anyone tell me V2 and V3 form of fall?
Fell. Fallen.
Fell. And is there any word called fell? Is there any word called fell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what will be the V2 and V3 form of fell? See, fall is to fall freely, or you can say to descend free. Something which is falling freely. That is what we called as fall. But fell means to bring something down. So can you tell me what is V2 and V3 of fell? Anyone who wants to try?
Felt.
Oh yeah, felt is the right. Very good. Felt is the right answer. Now, find. V2 and V3 of the word find.
Found.
Very good. And found and
Found in.
found only.
Ma'am,
What does this word find mean? Sorry, yeah.
ma'am, if we were to like fell a tree, मतलब एक tree को काटना है, तो ma'am, will it be like to descend? Will it be the one that's fall, or will it be the one to descend freely or to bring down, ma'am? Because it says
But
we're cutting the
is
tree.
not katana is not related to fall or fell.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you mean by the word find?
To get something.
To get something. Very good. Now there is one word called found. Like you can say I found that place, or somebody found that place. So can you tell me V2 and V3 form of the word found? Because this found means to establish. It doesn't mean to find something or to get something. This found means to establish
Founded.
something. Yes, it is founded and found. And the last word, which is confusing but important, that is lie. What do you mean
Ma'am,
by
is
the
it-
word lie?
Is
Yeah?
it to lie down or is it like
Lie.
lying?
See, that is the confusion. One lie is to make untrue statement, which is to make false statement, and the second lie is to move something into horizontal position, right? So there are two forms of lie. So firstly, we will talk about lie, which means to make false state. So what will be the V2 and V3 form of it?
Ma'am, lay, L-A-Y.
The lay is V2 form of lie, which means to move into horizontal position, to lie down.
Light, ma'am, light. First one,
Yes, lied is the right answer. So to make false statement, V2 form is lied, and V3 form will be
light.
it will be same lied only. What will be the V2 form of this lie? To move something into horizontal position.
Lay.
Laid. Ma'am, lay.
Lay.
Lay is the right answer. What will be the V3 form?
Laid, L-A-I-N. Laid.
Lain is the right answer. Alright. There is one more word called lay. We use it in two different forms. You must have heard this sentence so many times. Hen lay eggs. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is V2 form of this lay? And this word lay can also be used to mention to sacrifice. Alright. So what is V2 form of this lay?
Late.
Very good. Lay. And V3 form will be?
Ma'am, laid, L-A-I-D.
Yes.
Laid only.
Laid only. So these are the confusing form of certain verbs which is important for you to know. Alright. I hope this is clear to all of you. This form of verb, what is this form of verb is?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? Any doubt to anyone?
No doubt, ma'am.
Alright. So you have understood what form of verb is, then we can move forward to tenses now. So how many types of tenses are there?
Ma'am, I think
Quite
three.
easy answer. Yes, quite easy. 3. Name it.
Past, present, and future.
Now come to the subtypes. Give me the subtypes of present tense. Present tense is further divided into how many parts?
Present continuous.
Okay, present continuous. What else? Come on guys, this is quite easy and I'm expecting answer from you. Tenses is further subdivided into how many parts?
Present, perfect, continuous.
Present perfect continuous. See, I will tell you. Tenses are divided into 3 parts: past, present, and future. Past defines things which has already happened. Present defines the things which is going on, and future defines which is going to happen. Now, all the 3 tenses, past tense, present tense, and future tense, is further subdivided into 4 parts. First is simple present tense. Second is present continuous tense. Third is present perfect tense. And fourth is present perfect continuous tense. Similarly, past is also further subdivided into 4 parts: simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. And similarly, future is also divided into 4 subparts, which is simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Name is same of all the 4 parts in all the 3 tenses. In past tense also there is simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. In present also there is simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. And in future also there is simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Only in past you need to add simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. In present you need to add simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. And in future you need to add simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous tense. Have you guys understood what the types of tenses? Do I need to write the types of past and future tenses also, or it is clear to you?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
It's clear. All right. So today we will be starting with simple present tense, and we will be studying simple present, simple past, and simple future in comparison. So let's start with simple present tense. Can anyone tell me what simple present tense is?
The moment, I guess.
Sorry?
I could not explain, sorry.
See, simple present tense are the tenses. Simple present tense basically defines the things which is like regular in your daily life. All right. Simple present tense basically used in to define certain activities which is regular, which is your daily habits. All right. In that terms, we use simple present tense. Simple present tense is very important because it is used in various things. Firstly, we use simple present tense to define your regular action. Whatever you are doing regularly, in that sentences you will be using simple present tense only. For example, you study daily.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
guys study daily, so you will be using simple present tense. I study daily. You bath daily. You brush your teeth daily. Whatever thing you do regularly or daily on a routine manner or in a regular manner, in all these sentences we use simple present tense. All right. But before that, we need to understand the structure of simple present, how simple present tense is formed. All right. So firstly, we will talk about the structure. So before telling you the structure, I want to know, do you guys know what sentence is?
Combination of words that have a meaning.
Combination of sentence can either be positive or negative. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sentence can either be positive or negative. All right. So whenever we are talking about positive sentences, or we can also call this affirmative. Affirmative means positive only. All right. So whenever we are talking about positive sentences or affirmative sentences, the structure of simple present tense will be subject plus verb first, or S or ES form, and then object. Now the question arises, what is subject and what is object? Do you guys know what is subject and what is object? What is subject?
Noun.
Subject can be noun, subject can be pronoun. It varies. Subject can be any name. Subject can either be I, we. Subject is basically called as doer of the action. Whatever action is being done. Action, verb is what? Verb is action. Alright. So whatever action is done, who is doing that action, that will be your subject. Alright, if I take an example, he eats banana. So who is the doer of the action here? He. Then he is subject. Alright. What is action here? Eats. Then eats is verb here. And object is called as receiver of the action. What is being eaten here? What is being eaten here?
Banana.
Banana. So obviously banana is object. Alright. So subject is called as doer of the action. Whatever action is done, that is verb. And whoever is receiving that action, it is called as object. Am I clear with subject and object? Shall I take one or two more examples?
Yes, ma'am. Some more examples.
Alright, so let's say Ram plays football. Define subject, verb, and object.
Ram is the subject,
Ram is subject.
play is the verb, and football is the object.
Wait, okay. Ram and Shyam sing a song. What is subject, verb, and object?
Ram and Sham is the subject.
Ram and Shyam is the subject.
Sing is
Sing
the
is a
verb,
verb.
and
Sing is
object
verb.
will be song.
Very. Now, is it clear what is subject and object
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so sorry. Whenever we frame a sentence from simple present tense, there is subject, and in simple present tense we used verb first form and verb s or es. This is the reason I have already told you what form of verb is. So now you know what V1 and verb s or es form is. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone who is not able to understand that what is verb s or es form? Any single student in the class who is not able to recognize?
Ma'am, I can't.
You are not able. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Just give me a second. See, here I have given V1, V2, V3, V1 ing verb s or es form. Go is verb first form. V2 is went. V3 is gone. V1 plus ing is going. G-O-I-N-G. V1 is go, and in that V1 form we just add ing, which is called as V1 plus ing form. Similarly, verb s or es form is whatever there is written in V1 form, just write it as it is and add s or es. In go, use es. Let's talk about eat. So eat, ate, eaten.
Eating.
Ing form will be eating, and verb
Eats.
s or es form will be eats.
Eating.
Alright, so it's quite simple. Verb s or es form is simply adding s or es to verb first form. Am I clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. So the structure of simple present tense include subject, verb first form, verb s or es form, and then object. Now, the question here arises that when we use verb first form and when we use verb s or es. So it actually depends on subject. If your subject is singular, then you will be using verb s or es form. Whenever your subject is plural, with plural subject, we use verb first form. Now, you must be confused what is singular subject or what is plural. Or is it clear to you?
No, ma'am, it's not.
It's not. So verb first form is used with plural subject, which is I, we, you, they, or any plural name. Like for example, I've given one example, Ram and Shyam sing a song. So here I have mentioned Ram and Shyam. There is one person Ram, there is one person Shyam. So here we are talking about two different persons. So that is the reason this is singular subject or plural subject according to you?
Plural.
Plural. Because here we are talking about two different persons. So whenever we are talking about two different persons or we are talking about plural subject, we will be using verb first form. Alright? If I am saying I play football, so with I, we always use verb first form. We watch a cricket match. Since we is plural subject, we are using verb first form. You come to meet me. Since you is plural subject here, we are using verb first form. They frame a sentence, what they are doing. They play together. Since they is plural subject, we are using verb first form. So now you understand what plural subject is? Yes or no? It's very cold reply. Do you understand what plural subject is?
Ma'am, when you say plural, I means a single person, right?
I mean, see, I is always considered as in a different manner. With I, we always use plural form of verb. Like for example, let's you tell me, do you ever heard of the word has or have?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So has is singular or have is singular?
Have is singular.
No. Has is singular and have is plural. What do you say? We have a great match today, or you say we has a great match today?
We have.
We have a great match today. So with we generally use what? Have, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So since you all know that we means including I, everyone. We is a plural subject, and with we use have. With you also you use have. With they also you use have. All right. And with I also we use. I have done this work. It's very common. We use have. Also. So I is always an exception. With I we always use plural form of I is considered as exception. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone else who has any doubt in this thing? No.
Some example of singular.
I'm sorry, your voice just echoed. I couldn't hear.
Some examples from singular.
Some examples of singular form. Definitely, I'll do that. So now let's talk about singular subject. So singular subjects are he, she, it, and any singular name. Let's take certain example. He dances beautiful. She leaves my place on time. Isha plays anything you can write here. Or let's take another example. Isha eats. Now I have taken one example from he. Now since he is singular subject, we always use verb s or es form. She is singular subject, so we always use verb s or es form with it. Isha is singular subject, so we are using s or es form with it. Alright, so structure of simple present tenses, we use verb first form or verb s or es form with the subject, and then we mention object. Verb s or es form is used with singular subject, and verb first form is used with plural subject. Alright, plural subjects are I, we, you, they, and any plural name. Singular subjects are he, she, it, or any singular. Am I clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so can I ask certain questions from you, whatever I have taught till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you guys be able to do? I'll give you 4 sentences. Just fill in the blanks with the appropriate verb. It will be related to simple present tense only. Alright? Fill in the blanks with appropriate verb.
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm adding one more sentence. PM is Prime Minister. Alright? So according to you all, what should be the answer of sentence number 1?
Smokes.
Smokes.
What should be the answer for sentence number 2?
Comes.
For sentence number 3?
The sun rises.
Rises in the east. The sun is singular subject, so we will be using with singular subject, we use verb s or es form. 4th number?
I play with them.
Play. I
Very
play.
good. Fifth number?
PM leaves for China.
Leaves.
So, according to your answer, I can guess that whatever I have told you, it's clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, my next class will be on Thursday. I'm giving you one task to do before my next class. I have given you the structure of positive sentence. All right. I want you to find out the structure of negative sentence, of simple present tense, and interrogative sentence of simple present tense. Before this, I want to know, do you know what interrogative sentences is?
Is it like questionable? Like
Very good. Interrogative sentences are the question mark, the one with the question mark. All right. So interrogative sentences are the question sentences. So you need to find out the structure of negative and interrogative sentence of simple present tense. Will you be able to do it?
we'll try.
We'll try.
Definitely, you will have to try. Otherwise, I'll tell you in the next class. Now, before going, on a daily basis, I'll give you 5 vocabulary words because we need to take vocabulary side by side. I'm giving you 5 vocabulary words. I will be explaining the meaning of that word. What you need to do is frame sentences from that words. Alright?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first word is cognizant. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean? Anyone?
Aware.
Very good. Cognizant is self-aware person. What does word blasphemy mean?
Then
Something against God.
Something
Offensive.
against God.
Offensive.
Offensive. Against God. That is blasphemy. Have you ever heard of the word Bohemian?
Like a traveler. Artistic, maybe.
Bohemian means one who does not follow the usual norms of social life. person who does things according to his wish, doesn't think about social life, doesn't think about anyone else. Whatever he thinks is right, he does that. That is what is right. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next word is cajole. Do you know the meaning of this word? This is quite common. And the last word
Convince
is
lovingly.
Ma'am, gentle.
gentle is not cajole.
To pamper.
To
To
pamper is the
pursue.
right answer.
To persuade.
It is
I guess.
to persuade by flattery. To persuade by flattery. जबरदस्ती तारीफ करके आप किसी को persuade कर रहे हो, किसी को मना रहे हो. That is what is cajole. What do you mean by the word cannibal? That's
Those
quite
people
common.
who eats human flesh.
The
Cannibal.
one who eats one's own species. It's not only about human flesh. Whatever species the living being belong to, he or she is eating own species only, then that is called as cannibal. Is there any doubt in any of the four words, in any of the five words, sorry? Cognizant is self-aware person who has all the knowledge about what is going on in the surrounding. Blasphemy is talking offensive about God or sacred books or things. Bohemian is one who does not follow the usual norms of social life, who does whatever he or she thinks is right. Cajole is to persuade someone by flattery,
It's more
by
like buttering.
buttering. It's more like buttering. And cannibal defines person or animal who eats one's own species flesh. Alright? Any doubt in any of the words?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Just revise today's lecture. I will be giving you the PPT and I will also giving you the PPT in which whatever I'm going to teach on Thursday, that will also be available. So revise it once and then come to the next class. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.